Now, the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa says, and I quote, "The violent, callous and unlawful demolition of people's homes continues to frustrate the country's objective to curb the spread of COVID-19. It's now called on the Human Settlements Minister, Lindiwe Sisulu, to issue a directive to stop the demolition of homes by municipalities. This comes after a well-documented story, a naked man forcibly removed from a shack in Khayelitsha. Joining us now from the organisation, Zamantungwa Mbeki. Good afternoon to you and welcome. Before we talk about your call to the Minister of Human Settlements, maybe give us a sense of the type of environment or climate that exists that allows this kind of heinous behaviour.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us. We've been concerned about the number of evictions that have been happening during this lockdown period. This is not the first mass eviction that has happened, the one taking place in Cape Town. But earlier on, while we were still under level 5, there was evictions that were taking place in Durban. At a number of informal settlements, but I just want to highlight the one which is at Ikenana informal settlement, where a municipal official shot somebody with live ammunition, and that person luckily did not die, but just had to go to hospital. But what we are concerned about is just this continuous trend of evictions that are happening under the lockdown, but this is something that has always been happening by the municipalities. They're evicting people without having court orders, and they're using extreme violence as well as lethal weapons, as I said earlier on.
You've now asked the Minister of Human Settlements, Lindiwe Sisulu, to, and I quote, issue a directive to stop the demolition of homes by all municipalities. My question to you is, why does she need to do that when it's already outlawed under COVID restrictions? That's
precisely what the issue is, that the municipalities are not sticking to the regulations as they are stated in the Disaster Management Act. We're finding municipalities who are saying, well, we're not really evicting people, but what we're doing is demolishing structures, and these structures are not homes, so there's nobody inside. But as we could see from the images yesterday, is that there are people who are living inside. We saw people with food, with dishes, with beds. So there are people who are living inside. We find municipalities who are bypassing PI and as well as the Disaster Management Act and continuously evicting people from their homes without even approaching the courts. So we are saying that we need to go back to level 5, where there's an outright ban on evictions, and that the minister should say that there should be no demolishing of any structure, because clearly the municipalities are bypassing PI, they're bypassing the regulations as stated in the DNA as well. They are doing what they want to do, and they're not even approaching the courts for any form of guidance.
I wonder what your view is on the Cape Town Mayor, Dan Plato, who said, as far as this particular issue in Khayelitsha was concerned, that the man undressed as a tactic.
I think that's just in itself, when you think about it, why would somebody want to do that? Why would somebody want to have his dignity infringed in front of the whole country in that way? It doesn't even make sense. But even if it was, just yesterday, the city admitted that there was no order for eviction. They themselves admitted that what they were demolishing are homes. So what they're trying to do, I'm thinking, is trying to make us all not focus on the issue here, and that is there was an eviction that took place without a court order. So by them trying to emphasize whether the man dressed or did not dress or what had happened, he had run away, I think what is important is for us to focus on the fact that yet again the city of Cape Town conducted an eviction without a court order, and they have admitted that themselves.
Thank you for joining us. Zamantungwa Mbeki, attorney at the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa.